This video is designed to help you install your new all-Canadian tubular skylight in a professional and safe manner, whether you are a builder, contractor, or handy homeowner. These instructions will work with most types of shingle roofs. If your roof is tile, metal, or flat, there are other flashing options available. These may require professional assistance, and it's a good idea to check your local safety requirements before starting the installation. First, look at the room you are trying to enhance and decide where the skylight should be located to best utilize the light. After you have the approximate area in mind, go outside and look at the roof line. Are there hips, valleys, vents, or other objects that might interfere with the tubular skylight's placement? Next, go into the attic and determine if there are any electrical, plumbing, cross trusses, or anything else that might change the location of the skylight. Never cut trusses or rafters unless qualified to do so. While in the attic, measure the distance from the drywall to the underside of the roof, then add 12 inches. This will give the approximate length of reflective pipe required for the installation. Extra sections can be purchased from your local retailer in 1, 2, 3, and 4-foot sizes. If the location chosen requires angling the pipe, there are adjustable reflective elbows available for the application. Step 1. Tools list. Place a drop sheet under the work area and put a ladder in place. Establish the location of the skylight by measuring from side to side with a tape measure, and make a mark with a pencil. Use a stud finder to locate the nearest truss. Now insert a stiff wire that will go through the drywall and insulation to serve as a marker inside the attic. Once inside the attic, locate the wire and double-check to make sure that there is nothing in the attic or roof line that could interfere with your installation. Remove the insulation from the area and measure the wire to ensure that you have a minimum of 6 3/4 inches from the wire to the nearest truss. If your marker is too close to the truss, you will need to make a new hole down through the drywall. Drop a plumb bob from the roof to the wire and mark the position on the roof. Measure from that mark to ensure you still have at least 6 3/4 inches clearance to your nearest truss. At the mark, drive a screw or nail through the roof sheathing so you can later locate this on the roof. Step 2. Tools list. First, make sure that your ladder is safely secured and meets all local safety standards. Place the flashing over the screw and center using your plumb bob and tape measure to ensure accuracy. Once the flashing is centered, make marks at the bottom of the flashing for future reference. Trace in the entire inside of the flashing with your crayon. Use a wood or bimetal cutting blade approximately 5 inches long in the reciprocating saw. Cut the hole approximately 1 inch wider than the mark. At this point, it is important to make sure that you do not cut any truss or rafter. If the saw cut overlaps a truss, then cut beside the truss, ensuring not to cut through it. To establish which course of shingles to put the flashing under, the general rule is 1/2 to 3/4 of the flashing should be under the shingles. Make a straight line and cut off excess shingle with a hook blade, ensuring to cut the top layer of shingles only and not the one underneath. At this time, you may also need to cut away any of the shingle portion that overlaps the truss. Use an 8-inch metal blade in the reciprocating saw and carefully trim the nails off underneath the shingles where the flashing will slide up. If you do not have a suitable blade, you can use a pry bar and carefully remove the nails under the shingles. To assist in sliding the flashing under the shingles, use tin snips to round the top corners of the flashing, leaving at least 5 inches of metal. Now slide the flashing under the shingles. Line the flashing up with the bottom marks and center it from side to side. Fasten in place using nails supplied in the hardware kit. Step 3. Tools list. Put on safety eye protection. Using the supplied template, a pencil and a screw, draw a 13.5-inch circle on the ceiling, using the pencil mark as the center point. Using a drywall saw, cut the circle out, just slightly wider than your pencil mark. The white ring is sealed to the drywall by applying a foam tape on the top side. This will prevent warm air from escaping into the attic. Remove excess material with a utility knife. Using the larger 4 holes in the white ceiling ring as a template, put 4 marks in the ceiling and install drywall anchors. Or as an option, use wooden blocks to fasten the white ring to the ceiling with the 1¼ inch flathead screws provided. Screw through the larger holes, through the drywall, and into the wooden blocks. Ensure that all 4 corners are tightened equally. Step 4. Tools list. Start by measuring the total distance from the bottom of the white ceiling ring to the top of the flashing at the highest point. With this measurement, add 4 inches to determine the total length of pipe required. Measure the lengths of pipe, not including crimps, and determine how many sections will be needed. To trim excess pipe, scribe a line around the pipe using your tape measure as a guide. Then trim this portion using tin snips. Keep in mind that the crimp end of the pipe becomes the waste side. Lock in the seam of the pipe by pressing the edges together from one end to the other, ensuring they are completely clicked together. Using a utility knife, score along the inside of the seam and peel the protective film halfway down the pipe. Flip the pipe over and peel the film down approximately 2 inches. Using the provided reflective tape, tape the outside seam of the pipe lengthwise, ensuring to overlap the top and bottom of the pipe by a 1/2 inch. Apply white foam tape around the bottom of the pipe, approximately 1/8 inch from the edge, and trim any excess material. Scribe, remove protective film, and tape all other sections of pipe before putting them together with the crimps down. After they're assembled, wrap the joints horizontally with reflective tape. Step 5. Tools list. Carry the completely assembled pipe onto the roof and lower it down through the flashing. For aesthetics, it is best if your taped seam is rotated to the back of the flashing. Lock the white foam tape into the white ring by gently twisting the pipe while applying slight pressure. Inside the house, you can now pull the pipe down flush with the bottom of the white ring and secure it to a truss in the attic using a screw of adequate length directly through the pipe. Back on the roof, apply foam tape around the top of the pipe, approximately 1/4 inch down, and remove excess material. Push the aluminum ring down until flush with the top of the foam tape. Next, place the prismatic reflector on top of the ring. Remove the plastic protective coating from the inside of the top dome and place the dome on top of the prismatic reflector. Wrap the stainless steel dome clamp around the pipe and secure it with the 1.5 by 1/4 inch machine screws. Ensure that all 4 clamps are hooked over the dome's edge. Do not over-tighten. Next, place the peel and stick tape around the unit between the pipe and the flashing to prevent possible blowing snow from going down the flashing. Make the top edge of the peel and stick as level as possible. Using the machine screws, fasten the storm collar above the peel and stick, finger tight. Ensure that there are no rips or tears in the exposed reflective tape on the pipe seam. Level the storm collar with the dome before tightening down for improved aesthetics. Apply caulking between the top of the storm collar and the pipe. Make a weatherproof seal. Caulk the overlapping shingles to the flashing. Also, caulk the nail heads before leaving the roof. Step 6. Tools list. Put a small bead of caulking between the white ring and the pipe to ensure a tight seal. Remove any protective liner left in the pipe. Apply white foam tape around the top edge of the clear sealing diffuser and remove excess material. Using 4 1.25 inch pan head screws, fasten the clear sealing diffuser to the white ring. Be sure not to over-tighten and crack the diffuser. Place white screw caps over the screw heads. All we have left to do is put the attic insulation back around the base of the pipe, and your installation is complete.